approximately the same income per acre, but it's not exact. And generally the high yielding crops, when you multiply by their value, tend to be worth more per acre. So sugar beets is an awesome crop to grow. It's just that it takes a heck of a long time to harvest because the header's smaller. You just have to keep emptying the harvester tank. Similarly with onions and other red beets and things. It's small headers, small harvesters. You just have to keep unloading them over and over and over again. So if you do a big field like this, you ain't going to be spending 10 hours harvesting. One of the things I noted on, even back in, what was it? Goldcrest on Farm Sim 17. I did a potato contract, and that took about 8 hours. And because it was I paid well, but goodness me, I'm just sitting here watching the harvester go up and down, up and down. I think I had some, no, back in Goldcrest, that was before most of the mods came out, before I even knew what mods were. So, but yeah, that was horrible. But then I was a mug and I decided, you know what, I'm going to grow a huge field of sugar beets, and I did. And that took me a lot of hours to harvest, but the sugar beet harvesters tend to have wider headers and more capacity, so it turned out to be easier to do. And of course, back in Farm Sim 17 with contracts, you only had to harvest, and you ended up with a harvest that was 98% full, regardless of how big the field was. But yeah, I harvested, and I was testing out everything. So I harvested the sugar beets, and I put them through a pallet maker. I'm not even sure if that's still a thing. Let's have a look. That's beet harvester headers. Beet harvesters, category consumables, potatoes, no. Belts. Was it that thing? Loading this machine with potatoes or sugar beets will create a nicely packed pallet. So you pour the stuff in here and it will generate a pallet, which you then have to move out of the way so it can generate another pallet. It's a nice idea. Oh, it takes ages, and I glitched out the game because I created... Ooh, I'm too full again. I didn't notice that. Whoops. I glitched out the game because I made too many pallets, which was unfortunate. But I shipped all of the sugar beet pallets down to the nearest railroad terminal and sold them using the train, because you can't store sugar beets in any of the in-game silos, but you can store sugar beets in the train silo. So I used to use the train silos for storage, which was probably cheating, but hey, you can do it. I did it. There's also the pig farm was very, very close to one of the train silos, so I would store all of my... Actually, I stored all of my food I was feeding the pigs in the train silo, and I'd run a little cart of, they were Brantner trailers at the time, and they hitched, they had a tail hitch, so I hitched four of them together. I'd load one up with corn, one up with sugar beets, one up with wheat, one up with sunflowers, and drive it across the road, feed the pigs, and dump the rest back in the train silo. Now, eventually, we did get a mod that allowed you to store sugar beets in it, which was kind of handy. Okay, again. Okay, pay more attention to the of the tank. We only have about 14,100 litres of capacity here. I don't know if there's a bigger one. Harvesters. Normal harvesters, these things. We've got an S7, yes, so there is the X9, which has 16,200. We can use that harvester header, which you already have, or we could use a bigger one, which would be fun. And then the corn header we already have too. And there's more. That's 12 meters. So anyway, so we could trade up to a bigger harvester when we need to, but I think right now, if I get one of the big fields, I think it's probably worth doing. But right now, I think this harvester is perfectly adequate. It's August 1, 8:50 in the morning. We're running at 3 times speed, so I don't think we are not going to be able to harvest all of our fields today. That's good. So, here, header. Slow down. Okay, how am I doing? We are 54% full. I think the yoga bin is full again. So the other field we've got to do is that one directly in front of us. Unfortunately, it's in the other side of a ditch. I'm going to need to take the header off because this harvester is not going to cross that bridge, and it's not going to cross the bridge behind that tree row. So we'll need probably the little John Deere. I'm kind of getting to the point where I might want to get rid of that John Deere because it does have too many glitching issues. I really don't need to contend with if I don't have to. We're predominantly a case John Deere farm, so we're can always get a case tractor. That, and do that, and do that. There we go. Okay. I think we've got maybe 2.5 rows to go. It's going to fill up. So we did get two grain carts of sorghum out of this. That's not bad. I think that's about 3 hoppers in the truck. And 3, 2, 1. The son has borrowed Dad's trailer. Okay, where's my truck? Actually, it might be over here. Yeah. So I'm going to have to make up my mind what crops we're planting next year. And I will might plant wheat. We'll probably end up planting at least one field of a winter crop. So our straw comes out a little bit earlier this year. That is, I'm guessing that's full by weight. So sorghum is a little bit heavier than barley. Oats even. No, we planted oats, so oats was a good crop. Doesn't really matter. I'll empty this. You've got wheels under the frame front and back, so doesn't really matter which hopper we end up dumping stuff into. Some into there, and fold that up. Go. Oops. Okay, so we're in the last block. As I said, probably won't harvest this by lands. We'll just, it's going to be one up, one down. Done. Even if. Okay. So I can turn that back off. We'll get back in the harvester. Do. So end of August, I pretty much did nothing constructive on the railway. I have been watching how-to videos for Falcon Design Studio and Inkscape. Inkscape's a drawing tool that's free and quite powerful, and good enough for creating templates for cutting things out. The thing is, at least with Falcon Design Studio, while it's it's sort of a CAD light. It lets you do things, but it's not a fully functioning, merge, split, overlay shapes and take out the bits, type of thing. If you wanted to put two straight edges together and then put tabs on them, so you can cut them out and then they slot together. Not an easy thing to do. You can make it do it, but it's it doesn't have an easily defined function to do that, which is unfortunate. Stay out of the ditch. This way. Maybe. Back up a little. So for that, I have Inkscape, which is a better functioning drawing tool. It gives you more drawing parameters. So, and you can merge shapes easily and all the rest of it. So for that, I'm looking at that and saying, okay, if I can design shapes in a drawing tool which has merge and bind and place a shape on another shape, and if I wanted a circle cut out of a square, I can draw a circle, I can put it over a solid square and say remove the circle from the square, and there's functionality to be able to do that, which is nice. So you could design a window frame and then just put a window frame in a wall. Just say I want a window here, I want a window here, and because it has tools that let you line shapes up so that they're equidistant apart and the same height, everything is very precise. And then once you've done that, you save the file as a drawing and then you import it into your laser cutting software, which runs the laser cutter. So resolve the picture into cutting instructions, and yeah, everything works at that point. I'm going to get this from yes. So yeah, there's a lot of tutorials I've been going through learning how to do things. I've run a couple of small tests across so I know what I want to do. I know approximately how I want to do it. I just haven't. It's been more of a budget in the laser cutting software rather than a carefully designed picture in Inkscape. Yeah, I'll get round that eventually. I should drink some tea before it goes cold. So, nearly done, and then we will check the environmental score on this field and see how good it looks. I will empty the harvester before we move on to the next field. I could use a little pickup truck to tow the header trailer around with. That way I don't have to use the little tractor for it. I didn't notice anything else come up in store sales. But we got a good amount of money now. I could do some vehicle equipment swaps if I wanted to. But my big goal here is get some more fields. Fields are good. Fields make money. Unfortunately, most of the fields remaining around here, there's that little square one, that little bridge on the road in front of us. The field just to the north on the right-hand side of the road. That is small and very cheap. The only one along that road before the BGA that we don't own on this side of the main road in front of the farm. There's the field directly in front of this, looks like sunflowers. That's about 750,000. Then there's another field over the other side of the soybean field, which is about 600,000. If I could afford them, I probably would. So that would give us a nice, it would give us a huge block of stuff, of fields, land, dirt that we can harvest. Okay, I am thinking I can get to the end of this, and there's still going to be a little bit of capacity in the grain cart for us. So let's get that over. Lift it up and put the pipe out. So this guy has 1,775 litres of capacity remaining. Let's creep forward, try and get it in the back of the cart. And done. Nice. Okay. I think, I'm not even sure all of this will fit in the truck. But that's okay, I hope. Yeah. We've only got the front bay on the truck that's not got anything in it. Turn Clyde. And in you go. Okay, so this is not going to be a full load. That's okay. We can take some of this onto the next field though, and then there we go. Oops. I will actually take this down to the next field. So unfortunately this grain cart does not have a cover. So theoretically if it rains I kind of want to make sure it's empty. Okay, let us park this along here. And we could do that as well. Is the engine on? Yes. So fold that, fold that. Drive over here. We'll just stop at the end. We actually have a row of fairly good, it might be 105% yield, which is nice. Everything's nice when it comes to high yields. So, this here. Turn that off now. You. I do believe I put this. Turned this round. So normally I would park it with the hitch behind me. What way am I going? I'm going east. So I would park it with the hitch to the west, but then I figured I can't get the the head off. Did I? Yes, I did. So, I parked it that way round. And I'll do that again. After we've finished here, I'll park it that way round, because the only field we've got to do is the soybean field, which is completely accessible from our yard. So makes no sense to park that the wrong way around. I could. So we could mulch that field, except I don't have a mulcher. Okay. Let's try and get this lined up as best we can. That looks lined up. Not sure if the trailer's going to make it too lined up before we get to here. I think the harvester. Oh dear. Let's turn the engine on. Oh yeah, I went too far. And I went too far. Back it up and drop. And it magically beams into place. Now the other thing I could consider doing on our farm is getting the MacDon swather and pickup thing. Okay, I'm gonna park this actually. Oh, we have weeds over there. That's unfortunate. Come around here. I'm going to park this here because it's our field. And then hope we can make this turn. Yes, no, maybe. Well, boo. That's what I was afraid of. If I reverse it that way, now reverse it that way. Oh no, that's going to be even worse. How do you? Let's do this. Turn that way. That'll move. Oh. That'll move it further off the. There we go. That way. It's just a matter of control something. And a small tractor like this, you can somewhat keep good control over the direction. Four-wheel steer would be better, so something like a Lindner or a Fast Track. The other option is to hitch up the trailer to the front of the tractor, so your steering axles on your tractor are closest to the steering axle on the trailer. We run really wide here. We should make it across now. I'm going to look to see how close we were. So, it's fine. If I pull up there, get it close to straight. I'm good with that. Now, since we're in the truck, I'm going to grab this. So this is max load 70,000. I think the